Since February 24th and the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, the entire future of Chelsea was at stake. Officially put up for sale on March the 2nd after the departure of Roman Abramovich, forced to give up his place because of his alleged links with Vladimir Putin and the sanctions taken against him, such as freezing of his assets in England and ban on entering the UK by the British government. The London club saw several potential buyers come forward, but since then a name has emerged. That of Todd Boehly, with whom the Blues have announced that they have reached a buyout agreement. In life, when you think about the last act having arrived, you often realise that the play cannot be understood without its epilogue. By this theatrical maxim borrowed from Richard Jolly, understand that the soap opera of the sale of Chelsea Football Club, currently in third place in the Premier League, is finally coming to an end. Through a press release published a few weeks ago, the London club announced a takeover agreement with the consortium led by Todd Boehly. Chelsea Football Club can confirm that terms have been agreed for a new group, led by Todd Boehly, Clearlake Capital, Mark Walter and Hans-Jörg Wyss, to acquire the club, it read. In exchange for a cheque of £4.25 billion, or €5 billion, Todd Boehly will therefore become, subject to the approval of the British government and the Premier League, which should arrive at the end of the month of May, the new owner of the London club. After entering into exclusive negotiations for several days, the American billionaire was therefore preferred over Steven Pagliuca, who has shares in the American basketball franchise the Boston Celtics and the Italian football team Atalanta Bergamo, Sir Martin Broughton, former president Liverpool, and Jim Ratcliffe, who came up with a last-minute offer. But who is the future boss of the Blues? Co-owner of the LA Dodgers American baseball franchise and the Los Angeles Lakers basketball franchise, Todd Boehly is also backed by contributions from Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Wyss and British entrepreneur Jonathan Goldstein. With a fortune estimated at $4.2 billion, the 46-year-old American businessman is also a majority shareholder of Eldridge Industries, a holding company headquartered in Greenwich, Connecticut. Finally, he has also been the interim CEO of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association since October 2021. Determined to invest in sport, and more particularly in football, Boehly entered into exclusive negotiations on December 14th to buy a majority stake in MLS franchise Washington Spirit. Very close to finalising the takeover, the American finally withdrew from negotiations on January 12, 2022. With Chelsea, he will have finally realised his dream. Born into a family of German origin, Todd Boehly grew up in the United States. An excellent student, he notably graduated in Maryland in 1991 at the Landon School in Bethesda, an establishment since renamed Boehly Family Wrestling Room in tribute to the success of the future owner of the Blues. A member of the school's wrestling team, he also won the university championship in 1990 and 1991. Ambitious, he graduated 5 years later in the field of finance at the London School of Economics and began to work in parallel to gain experience in the financial sector. Whether at Citibank and then at Credit Suisse First Boston, Boehly thus developed his know-how before joining Guggenheim Partners in 2001. Within this global financial services, investment and advisory company, which is committed to investment banking, asset management, financial market services, and insurance services, the American businessman rose through the ranks to become president. Eventually, he scaled up in 2015 when he invested in some of the assets he collected at Guggenheim, including The Hollywood Reporter, Dick Clark Productions, and Security Benefit, to found his current company, Eldridge Industries. I think being diversified really helps us weather economic cycles, he explained last year. Owner, moreover, of a technology company, more than present in real estate investment and active in the food industry, Todd Boehly has therefore gradually built an empire. An impressive career leading him today to get his hands on the Chelsea Football Club managed by Thomas Tuchel, still reigning European champions and destined for a great future once again. Future owner of Chelsea, Todd Boehly intends to invest a lot of money. This was announced by one of his trusted men. Both on and off the pitch, Chelsea are having a busy end to the season. On the stage, the residents of Stamford Bridge, third in the Premier League and chased by Arsenal and Tottenham, lost to Liverpool in the FA Cup final on Saturday. A man who intends to put his hands in his pocket and someone who has great ambitions for the Blues. This is what Daniel Finkelstein, who will be present on the board of directors once the club is purchased, confessed to Talk TV. His words are also relayed by The Sun. We are still in the early stages. He has reached a sale agreement with Chelsea and now the government must authorise the sale because they are a sanctioned club and the Premier League must make a decision. I think Chelsea are going to have a fabulous owner in Todd Boehly. I'm really impressed with him. He continues, "I was very impressed before meeting him. I think the same as him about sports, so it was kind of a meeting anyway. I like him a lot, but I think he has big plans too. So as a Chelsea fan who was worried when the club had to be sold, I am looking at how the club can be improved, rather than just how we can prevent it from being in a worse situation. The work of the owner is judged by how well we spend the money, not just how much we spend." Excellent news for Thomas Tuchel, whom the new owners want to keep. Chelsea intend to strengthen, especially after the probable departures of Antonio Rudiger, Andreas Christensen and Cesar Azpilicueta. Jules Koundé of Sevilla is still the priority signing in defence. The future owner of Chelsea therefore intends to invest in the club during the summer transfer window. And it appears that work has already begun, with reports claiming that Chelsea are going to be a part of a host of clubs looking to sign Robert Lewandowski. The Poland international's contract with Bayern Munich ends in June, and he's likely to leave Bavaria this summer. Heavily linked to the move to Barcelona, who are in dire need of a consistent performer in the final third, Lewandowski might end up being torn for choice. It's rare to see a striker of such a pedigree available on the market, so we expect a transfer battle on the horizon. While Bayern aren't too eager to let go of him, chances are that the former Dortmund star will look for pastures new. And now Chelsea have thrown their hat into the ring, which shows that the new owner is eager to continue ensuring that the Blues are a force in the transfer market. Moreover, the London Giants are going to lose key men this summer, so the owner has no other option but to spend money on new signings if he wants to see the club stay competitive. Next season is bound to be a competitive one in the Premier League, with Newcastle United also under new ownership and eager to invest in big names, and the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool planning to strengthen the workforce. Things will be difficult for any team that aspires to win silverware. At the same time, Manchester United might start playing actual football under Erik ten Hag, who has been promised sufficient funds. Eager to ensure that they're not lagging behind, Boehly's definitely going to sanction key signings, even though he might not be as extravagant as Abramovich was. But then again, this Chelsea team only need more depth in the squad, and perhaps a really good striker. If they're able to do that, the new owner will garner a lot of support at Stamford Bridge on match day.